Where would you rank the Ethiopian coffee?
Well,
Or
you know where coffee originated.
yeah, I know that.
So, of course, if you ask me as an Ethiopian, of course, our coffee is the top.
Any favorite Indian food?
There is nothing I don't like. I mean, I love Indian food.
But if you gotta pick three, which one are you gonna pick?
Chicken butter,
Chicken.
The-
Butter chicken.
butter chicken, butter chicken.
What does ICRC exactly do?
I'm coming from a culture of loving, giving, sharing, welcoming.
And I would like to know, in many Ethiopian and Indian homes, food is eaten with the hands. So do you think this style of eating influences social connection and family bonds?
Really strengthen the social bond you have among each other.
Like all the family members
All
or
the family
friends.
gather and then you eat from one and the same plate.
How would you differentiate it, like let's say the French coffee or the Italian, because you have been all over the world?
The way they make it.
Welcome to Cosmopolite Sam, the podcast that journeys through cultures, languages, and human stories. I'm your host Sam, and today I'm honored to welcome Kedir Owal Omar, Regional Head for the International Committee of the Red Cross. How do you pronounce it? I forgot it.
Dabbo.
Dabbo.
It's called dabbo, yeah.
Yeah.
Special dabbo which they prepare. So we cut that and then with different kind of sauce, tea, coffee, then we eat. And then I go back home. Then another breakfast. For me it's a long breakfast.
Okay.
You don't eat a lot because
But
just after you break,
small
you eat
meals.
small meals. Then with the family again, with my wife and daughter, you have your breakfast. And then we start going around to visit elderly people, our aunties. So this is what I have been doing all my life, just to wish them a good Eid and to have a chance once in a year to go and visit them as well. So that's what we do. And then lunchtime, we gather at my in-laws' place. We have our lunch.
Same Addis Ababa.
Addis Ababa, but
Everyone lives there.
different side. And then all the family get together. And then in the evening, again, we get back at my mom's place with all nephews, nieces, and in-laws. Again, we have a big feast at my mom's
Is it
place.
kind of similar to Indian festivals? Because I feel family plays a very important role in all the social gatherings.
That's what I've realized. I mean, when I happened to celebrate Eid here, well, not that extended rituals, but I also participated in Indian family Eid celebration with those Indians whom I met a family here. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Not last year, the year before last year.
The year before last year. Now, I would like to know, how did your cultural roots, like as an Ethiopian, how did your cultural roots shape your decision to pursue humanitarian work with the ICRC, with the International Committee of the Red Cross? And our listeners would love to know more about ICRC and what does ICRC exactly do?
I'm coming from a culture of loving, giving, sharing, welcoming.
Is it a part of just your specific family or it's a part of the...
It's our Ethiopian culture.
Yeah.
So we are warmly welcoming guests, visitors, and neighbors. Our coffee you mentioned. So our coffee ceremony is not only to drink coffee; it's to socialize around the coffee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ceremony to discuss social issues, family issues,
And to know each
so
other.
we like to gather. We like to welcome each other. We like to support each other. So we like to support each other during also difficult time. So for me, I don't know from where it comes, but it was in me to work in a humanitarian organization to be able to assist, support those people affected. So International Committee of Red Cross, you might have heard that it has been established 160 years ago to assist those people affected
In war.
by conflict and violence. Especially those civilians or those people wounded and sick, those people detained, civilians who are directly, and then those who are also indirectly affected. We provide protection and assistance wherever we operate. Today we are operating in more than 100 countries around the globe.
Well, that's great. So, cool. And what's the role exactly in India? Because India is not in a war zone or conflict zone, but what's the role of ICRC in India?
In India, we have a regional delegation. We call it delegation, country office, which has been operating since 1992, if I'm not mistaken.
1960 or 1960?
No, I mean, in India, we have been here since the First World War.
Yeah, got it.
We have access to detained visit. But we came back as a regional office in 1982. So since then, we have engaged in teaching, promoting of international humanitarian law, exchanging of our experience, humanitarian experience we have around the globe, and strengthening the capacity of Indian Red Cross in disaster response and preparedness, where we jointly address if there are issues. So it's and then it's also to work with different kind of think tanks who are interested to promote the discussion, dialogue of international humanitarian law, not only in India but regionally and globally.
Got it. I would like to ask one question related to this, that in a time when the world sometimes feels divided, how can young people contribute meaningfully to humanitarian values, even if they are far from conflict zones or war zones?
I think humanitarian values are in each culture, in each religion. It is included in different books, religious books. I mean, Quran, in Bible, and I'm sure in Hinduism and other religions. So these teachings are just to treat each other also humanly, to make a limit the way we are interacting in time of crisis, in time of difficult situation. I think this need to be understood well, continue to be taught, and act accordingly.
So what the young Indians, what they can do, let's say are not directly involved in the war, but how they can contribute, in order to make the world a better place.
Today we are in a world where we have disinformation and misinformation.
Yep.
So they need to be aware
Yep.
how harmful this
It
issues
is.
are when they are circulated in social media. So they need to be prevented. I mean, to prevent themselves from being part of this misinformation, information. But it's always important that they promote human values.
Yep.
So that's how they can contribute. Yeah.
Thanks for your answer. And now I would like to talk a little bit about coffee. You have likely had coffee across continents. Where would you rank the Ethiopian coffee? Like top 3, top 5, or 1?
Well.
Or where have you had the...
You know where coffee originated.
Yeah, I know that.
So of course, if you ask me as an Ethiopian, of course that could be the top.
And how would you differentiate it, like, let's say, the French coffee or the Italian, because you have been all over the world. So how would you differentiate the coffee?
It's the way they make it. But if you ask me personally, I enjoy the most the coffee made from our jabana. That's a clay pot which you are using to make coffee.
The traditional one.
The traditional one.
Yep.
This I don't equate it to any kind of coffee made around.
Because nowadays we have machines and everything. So.
Yeah, but now in Ethiopia, I think, especially in the capital Addis, we are coming back to this jabana coffee. Jabana is the name of the pot.
Okay.
So, which is really is different. I hope you will have once a chance to test it, and it's something I really adore. I'm not regular coffee drinker, but if I drink, my preference is the jabana.
I watched once a documentary. I saw that they were drinking maybe 3 times or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, in Ethiopia, it depends. In the past, of course, they drink twice a day, in the morning and then late afternoon. As I said earlier, coffee is not for sake of coffee that we are drinking, but to family,
Friends.
neighbors, friends getting together around the coffee and discuss and socialize and sort out also social issues. But nowadays in the capital, I mean, when urbanization developed, people don't have that much of time to drink twice. But those people now, like me or working in the office, I mean, coffee. You find coffee shops everywhere in the cities. So we have a habit. I mean, when we meet, we say, no, there is special what we call macchiato. We say, let's go for macchiato. So you may have macchiato 2, 3, 4 times a day, depending on who you meet, how often you meet people. Especially for me when I go back, so I like to meet friends, I meet family. So the moment you meet, they say, okay, let's go for a macchiato. So you can have macchiato 2, 3 times a day or 4 times a day.
Would you like to share us the story, like the story behind the coffee? That there was this goat herder, and he was, I think, something like that. Would you like to share just a little bit about it, how it originated according to this story? No? Okay. The next question would be: as regional head, constantly on the move, how do you balance time zone challenges while building trust in each local community? How do you manage that? Because I'm sure that you are managing India, Nepal, and Bhutan, and Bangladesh also.
No.
There's one more, only 3 countries. So how do you
With
like
India
balance
as well. You mean balance?
the time zones, because there are different time zones? How
No,
do you,
well, it's not a big difference between these 3 countries, but of course there is a zone difference between here and Geneva, our headquarters, and then some of our delegations. So, yeah, sometimes you happen to stay late in the office because too much the time they are available in our headquarters in Geneva, because there's 3 hours and a half difference. So it's not every day that you have to adapt to that time difference, but when it's needed, I don't think that's a big issue. So it's manageable.
and how do you interact with the local communities? There's people like
Where here in India?
here in
Well,
India,
I
or
mean-
let's say Bangladesh or Nepal.
Wherever I go, I mean, I have visited more than 60 countries so far.
More than 60
But
countries.
I lived. This is my 11th country I live in. So I like to really interact with the local people. I like to understand, learn better about the culture, traditions. But I struggle with language. But if I don't do that, I don't feel that I've visited the places. So I quickly find myself at home in this kind of place. I mean, like in India, I mean, we have a lot of cultural similarities we have, starting from food and family values and so
The
on.
spices.
So, I mean, I love Indian food. So for me, it's just, I mean, I go to Calcutta, I felt that I was at home.
Do you
And
have
I
any
even
favorite?
Sorry?
Any favorite Indian food?
I mean, there is nothing I don't like. I mean, I love Indian food.
But if you're gonna pick 3, which one you're gonna pick?
Chicken
Just
butter,
chicken.
the first one.
Butter chicken.
Butter chicken.
Butter chicken, yeah.
Butter chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, naan, I with everything. I mean, with anything I can eat naan. I love naan, paratha, all sorts of the breads. And then dals. I like different kind of dals. I like them. And curry, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And biryani, yeah. It's
Pretty much
I mean,
all.
I mean, I tell you, I mean, I love all Indian food. Because I start eating Indian food not only here, but
Even Ethiopia?
of course. With the family, we go at least once in a month or once in 2 months to the Indian restaurant to eat Indian food. When we want to go out, we say, let's go to Indian restaurant.
And what do you
So we like-
usually eat there? Butter chicken.
The butter chicken or chicken curry,
Chicken
chicken tikka,
Mhm.
these are chicken tandoori.
Chicken.
These are the
yeah.
common things
Mhm.
for
The
us,
typical
what
ones.
we know as Indian food. But when I come here,
It's so many
I saw
stuff.
the variety. I mean, from state to state, it's
Yeah,
different.
it's different.
So,
It's different.
yeah, but still they have some similarities.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed food here.
Now let's talk about language. So, which language or dialect that you have learned so far holds a special place in your heart, and why?
Well, of course, I speak 2 local languages,
You speak French as well.
which I consider my native language, and then as of course English and French.
French.
French, I don't know from where it came. Maybe I told you last time,
Yeah.
but when I finished my high school, I've never met any French guys, or I've never watched even French movies, but I just had that interest to learn French, and then I went. I was I think 19.
No reason.
So,
Nothing.
no reason, but I liked to learn the language, and the first.
You're quite fluent in French.
No, I don't
Yes.
think I'm. No, I don't think I'm French.
Je parle
Now,
français.
oui, je parle un peu. I struggle. I struggle with my French, but
Wha-
I want to be really proficient in French. So thanks to Twitter,
Yeah.
who have helped me to revise my French
And improve.
quickly improve it.
Yeah.
So now I have my books with me. So in fact, one of the area I'm going to cover is a French speaking context. That will help me to really master my French.
And I want to know this: what are the challenges that you faced while learning the French, and what are the challenges that you still face while speaking the language, French language, according to you?
Yeah, for me, but the grammar is difficult because it's my own local language, is totally different.
Yeah.
So I struggle a lot. I quickly start to speak French because I work also with French-speaking people. So in the past, most of them were French-speaking. So the first semester, when I completed the first semester, one class, I already started speaking French. So they were telling me, "Oh, okay,
You're good with speaking.
yeah. I'm fast in speaking."
Yeah, but the
But the
grammar,
grammar is I need to have enough time. But
Yeah.
the challenge is time.
you don't have.
So and of course I have that commitment to really to master my French or to become proficiency in French. But I think it will happen. So
For sure.
now probably I might have it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yep. Now, I want to ask this question. It's pretty interesting and useful for the youths of this country. If you have to suggest few languages to the youths, that what they should learn if they want to work with, let's say, ICRC or with other international organizations or government organizations like UNESCO, UN, and all. So, what are the languages they should look for?
I think this is something which I've been asked almost every day by the youth, and sometimes I spontaneously also suggest to them. Even yesterday, I was advising young boys and girls. Why don't you study? I mean, there are this big official language. I mean, like French. For me, it's because I like the French language, so I always recommend, and I think it's useful in many contexts.
For professional reasons.
I mean, if you speak French in my organization, of course, it helps you to. Even for joining, French is required. As a passive knowledge of French is required. So it will make it easy your chance to be to get a job in our organization. So the Arabic. Arabic is spoken.
Yes.
And then if you speak Arabic in we work in many Arabic.
It will be easier.
It will be easier. And then of course Spanish. For Latin American countries.
So top three would be French, Spanish, and Arabic.
That's what I would recommend. And nowadays we are an institution like us requiring also. I mean, if you have a French, Russian language, it's useful.
It's pretty demanding in India as well. Like there are many Indians who want to learn Russian.
Yeah.
So there's a huge market for that as well. So, and I would like to know, in many Ethiopian and Indian homes, food is eaten with the hands. Like we use hands. Even in Ethiopia, I watched few of the documentaries. I saw that they were eating with hands only. So there's something common between these two countries. And they also use big platters. So do you think this style of eating influences social connection and family bonds?
Certainly. I mean, if you probably might have seen it in YouTube and others. I mean, in Ethiopia, in the past, we used to eat from one plate.
Yes.
So that's which really strengthened the social bond you have among each other.
Like all the family members
or
or friends.
Together, and then you eat from the same plate. Yeah. So nowadays, we sit around, but we eat from different places. But I believe that, I've grown up eating like that. But nowadays,
do you still do that?
Yes and no. In some family gatherings, we do. But at home, we don't do. We eat in our own plates. Yeah. So, but I'm not stranger to that. When I go back to the countryside or whatever, immediately, I love to do that.
So maybe it has changed in Addis Ababa, but if you go to other small towns,
it's changing also in some part of urbanization change this kind of thing. So of course, some young generation prefer to have their own plate rather than dipping into the big plate. So but for me, I like it.
Like it. Cool. And I would like to now talk about a little bit festivals, because you have experienced vibrant festivals like Holi and Diwali, and in India, and maybe other festivals all around the world. As you said, that you have traveled to more than 60 countries, and you have lived in almost 11 countries. I think India was your 11th country. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So you must have celebrated hundreds of festivals. So if you could bring or introduce one Ethiopian festival to global city, which would it be, and how would you celebrate it?
It's a very difficult question. I haven't thought of it.
Let's say 3 Ethiopian festivals.
There's even one. Again, you want to share your own experience.
Yep.
What I'm used to celebrate bigger on the scale is, of course, our Eids.
Yep.
But our Christian brothers also, they have different kind of celebration.
They also celebrate Eid? Or?
We are not celebrating it, but of course we are there in the environment. We wish each other good holidays.
And eat together, maybe.
Of course, we eat together. And like Easter, the finding of the chukres, they call it Meskel.
Yes.
And then, there are many other celebrations as well. So Ethiopia is like India, rich in culture.
Yep.
And
it's different, but also it's similar in many ways.
Diverse.
So you would like to bring Eid, Ethiopian Eid, you were saying.
Sorry?
Ethiopian Eid, you were talking.
That's where I'm part of it.
Yeah,
so,
got it.
But Ethiopian Eid is not really necessarily different from other Eids. But we share this Eid celebration.
Injera,
I think
do you eat that?
Yeah, of course. Injera is our food.
Yeah.
So I would love to bring Injera here, but
Injera.
you might. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to invite you, so I have been inviting some people around Injera because that was the only place. Now, Ethiopian Cultural Center is going to be open soon. I think
That's awesome.
there you will experience.
Yeah, then maybe we might try
Injera.
some.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
When is it going to open? Like,
I have no.
But might
idea
open
when,
soon.
But that's what I've heard.
That's cool. So again, do you see any cultural similarities between India and Ethiopian traditions apart from food?
Yeah, I told you about the social values.
Yep.
That's welcoming of people,
Family.
family. Yeah, family value. It's similar, and hospitality. So for foreigners and
Yes.
this we share.
Well, proverbs and sayings carry timeless wisdom, and I know for a fact that Ethiopia is pretty famous for old proverbs and all. So, what's your favorite one? And if there's one proverb that you would like to share to the world, that you would like the world to know, one Ethiopian proverb.
You know, I have a challenge to have this kind of things completely in my head.
But you must be having a favorite proverb.
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty. There is one which always try to tell you that you need to have patience.
How do you say?
So we say kaspekes,
Kespekes.
unkulal bagru yedan.
Kespekes.
Unkulal.
Unkulal.
Kaspekes means slowly
Slowly.
the eggs start working.
Okay. Have patience. Sois patient. What?
Something similar.
Basically, like patience make things easier.
Yeah, but in all this context I work, many people, many places I travel, you need to have patience for many things.
For many things.
Yeah. So that proverb, I mean, is always in my head. So.
Cool. And apart from that, if you could bring one thing from Ethiopia to every Indian home and one thing from India to every Ethiopian home, what would those two things be?
Of course, coffee. I would like to bring.
And from India?
From India.
Not butter chicken, apart from that. Yeah.
You mean in terms of food, no?
Or anything else, in terms of food, value, lifestyle, people, anything, or festival, tradition, anything.
Yeah, food, I mean, there are many things which I would like to bring to.
Apart from foods, let's say.
Apart from food, what would I like to bring to?
Or a
India?
festival.
I mean, festivals are celebrated somehow
Yep.
in a similar ways in my country. And, it could be different reasons for celebrating, but the way we celebrate with the family, I mean, this is a very important thing. So, I mean, this is not something I will bring, but this is something there which could be strengthened.
So what would be that? What would you like to, something for
Celebrating festivals.
7 festivals?
Yeah. With family.
Is there any specific festival, let's
And
say?
you know what I like here and what I've seen? Feeding of the poor, or feeding of everyone. I mean, last week there was a festival here where cooking and then feeding on the streets.
We also do langars a lot.
Yeah, I'm saying about here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really something nice and something I like
As
because
a part of the culture.
everybody's So we do have that culture, not at a larger scale like here, but this is something which need to be. Of course, we have started in the capital cities. I mean, feeding of some people have started, but this could be done more. I think in different part of, for example, in the country.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah.
Thanks
But
for
because
that.
I stop and I observe how people are enjoying. It's not because for free, but some people are really needy.
Yes, they need it. They need it because they don't have enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't have enough.
Exactly. So helping each other with whatever we can.
And for them, maybe it's the
Yes.
only meal of the day that they are going to get. So for them, it matters a lot. So yeah. Now, one of the last questions is that, in your experience, what are 3 things Ethiopian can learn from Indian people, and vice versa? 3 things Indians could learn from Ethiopians. 3 things.
If you can pass me this.
Nah? Cool. Okay. And apart from that, as you prepare to leave tomorrow, we would love to know what emotions you are experiencing right now. Are you happy and excited about to go back to your home, or happy to just that you are done with your terms in India? What are the emotions that you have right now?
No, this is something I've been struggling in the last few days and weeks because I didn't expect that it would be coming. Because I know I'm leaving. I wanted to leave because I got another opportunity somewhere else. But I didn't expect that I would be emotional, and I've been quite emotional
Are you?
to say goodbye to my friends because it's a mixed feeling. Because I wanted to have that experience in Uganda, close to my country, and of course I want to have an African experience. But at the same time, I haven't realized until recently how I'm connected with people and with the country, and I start feeling of missing it. So it's a mixed feeling. It's sad and it's sad feeling to leave, but at the same time, I'm looking forward also to my new mission. So, but I'm telling my colleagues that somehow gives me feeling also that I will come back. I mean, I've made a lot of friends. I've made brothers, sisters.
For how long you stayed in India?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, so 3 intensive years. So it was, I mean, in my office, really great colleagues became brother and sister and friends. So outside of office also, I've made a lot of friends, and who brought me to the family and then became my own family in the last
Whether we
3 years.
celebrated festivals.
So they are very well connected with Ethiopians, with Indians, and then some other nationals as well.
And if there's any one message that you'd like to share or pass to your friends and your colleagues with whom you worked before you leave?
Yeah, it's rather not to my colleagues and people who I work with. I mean, I want to thank everyone. I mean, they've supported me. They made me feel good to stay here, like you. I mean, we had really very good interaction.
Pooja, your French professor.
Yeah. People are nice, kind to me, and they have taken me to their life. They have given me love. They have supported me and made me part of also. Some of them made me part of their life and their family. So I just wanted to say thank you. But another thing is that, India is huge. India is big. You cannot know India from the media, from social media, from other things. Even I heard one diplomat when he said after 5 years, I start knowing now India. That was when I arrived.
After 5 years?
After 5 years, I said, oh, what is this thing?
But he was about to leave.
5 years. But I'm saying the same thing. I mean, I cannot say I know India. I just have a glimpse of what India is. So it needs years to explore
or decades.
India. So what I tell my friends outside of India, colleagues and others, come and visit, and then you will understand how India is incredible.
Because many of them, they just have lots of stereotypes before arriving to India. Did you have any of them before you came to India?
Of course I heard a lot, but I have never accepted anything. So I wanted to explore myself. Luckily, I'm not influenced by the stereotypes. So
was it different from the stereotypes that you had?
of course, there are many different things. There are some truths,
Yep.
but like I've been telling my friends and my colleagues and others, I'm not here to, I'm focusing on what India offers me positively. So I try to make my positive experience in India, which I like it. So that's what I'm trying to advise others as well.
I know you're pretty busy, so I'll be just stopping here. But before that, I want to ask you one question. Are you going to continue to learn your French?
Of course.
Yep.
No, I told you.
Yeah.
Now I got the answer from my book, from Pooja.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's something I start when I'm on the plane already.
Then maybe we can do a workshop in Ethiopia as well, a French workshop.
Sure.
Or wherever you are.
Alliance Française is big in Ethiopia.
Yep.
So they're doing well. That's where I got my French training.
Yeah. That's good.
I took my French course. Yeah.
So, Kedir, thank you for guiding us through the cultures you have embraced and through rituals, languages, and acts of compassion. Your journey reminds us that culture is the heartbeat of humanitarianism. And to our listeners, if this episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends. And to support the ICRC's culturally sensitive humanitarian work around the world, visit icrc.org. And I know you were pretty busy and still you took out time for us. So I'm really honored and privileged that you came here. And thanks a lot to you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Et on va continuer à parler en français.
Right. Okay, merci.
Yep. And this is a tiny gift for you. That
Thank you very
it's
much.
kind of a farewell. Gift to you. I'll just attach this here. Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And now you enjoy your coffee.
Thank you.